लेकिन आज मैं यहां बहुत भारी मन से आया हूं। कल शाम दिल्ली में हुई भयावह घटना ने सभी के मन को व्यथित कर दिया है। मैं पीड़ित परिवारों का दुख समझता हूं। आज पूरा देश उनके साथ खड़ा है। मैं कल रात भर इस घटना की जांच में जुटी सभी एजेंसियों के साथ, सभी महत्वपूर्ण लोगों के साथ संपर्क में था, विचार विमर्श चलता था, जानकारियों के तार जोड़े जा रहे थे। हमारी एजेंसियां इस षड्यंत्र की तह तक जाएगी।
All right, so that is what the Prime Minister said, his first remarks on the Red Fort blast case when he arrived in Bhutan, saying he was there with a heavy heart, in touch with, the investigative agencies, and saying the perpetrators would not be spared. The Prime Minister, a short while ago, those visuals on your screen, meeting with those injured in the Red Fort blast. Let's go across to Manokia, who joins us from outside LNJP. Also, Shiv joins us from the newsroom as the Prime Minister will be holding a key meeting at 5:30. Manokia, first, you give us more details of the Prime Minister's interaction with those who were injured, and this gesture as well, arriving from Bhutan, immediately coming to LNJP hospital to meet with the injured.
Well, absolutely. Prime Minister Narendra Modi just a few minutes ago arrived at LNJP hospital, met the victims and those injured and the kins and relatives of those who've lost their lives. Most of them were absolutely in a emotionally shattered state, as well as with difficulties. They did express, and he also confirmed that the perpetrators would not be spared and justice would prevail very soon. But also given to understand with Prime Minister Narendra Modi just arriving in India today after his Bhutan tour of a few hours, yesterday he was in Bhutan and today back to India. And the first thing that he does after landing in India is visiting LNJP hospital, speaks volumes about the sensitivity and the commitment towards the people of India at a time when the government of India and multiple agencies are targeting and conducting almost a series of operations across the country, ranging from raids as well as a series of arrests. This comes as a solace for those who've lost their loved ones and for those who are injured here and admitted and getting treated in LNJP hospital. Remember, LNJP hospital is the nearest from Lal Killa, and that's the reason why most of the victims and the injured were brought in here. The death toll has been increasing, but also to give you an idea that the injuries are being treated. However, these scars will be there to stay for years to come.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Manokia, for joining us with those details, and the Prime Minister having left from LNJP just a short while ago. And Shiv, we do know the Prime Minister has, a packed day ahead. He is going to be holding that meeting on security at around 5:30. Even when he was in Bhutan, he spoke about how he was in touch with the investigating agencies and, tracking all the developments as this entire terror web is being uncovered.
That's correct. It's a very, very crucial day for the Prime Minister. He's back from Bhutan. He went straight to the LNJP hospital, as we're looking at in these pictures, where he's meeting with the lucky survivors of the 10/11 blast. He's already back at the PMO right now, and at 5:30 today, he will be chairing what is being seen as a very crucial meeting of the Cabinet Committee on Security, which will, we are hearing, be attended not only by the intelligence chiefs, by possibly the military chiefs as well. This is, of course, a completely classified meeting where India's national security perspective and plans will be on the table for the Prime Minister and the leadership of the government to figure out what India's response will be. This is particularly important, Gargi, right now, because the Prime Minister has just put out on his social media, once again echoing what he said in Bhutan yesterday, where he says the conspirators will all be brought to justice. Now, these are words that the Prime Minister has said before, but they take on a very important complexion now, because post-Sindoor, remember, this government has made it official policy that all acts of terror will be treated as acts of war. We know from the investigation over the last 36 hours that it is a Jaish-e-Mohammed module that was likely behind the entire conspiracy. The layers that have come out make it a transnational conspiracy, with some of the conspirators having apparently visited Turkey. The Pakistan link is obviously there, given it's Jaish-e-Mohammed. Jaish-e-Mohammed is a product of the ISI, and therefore it's going to be very, very crucial to see not only what happens at the Cabinet Committee on Security chaired by the Prime Minister, but what the overall picture is going to be in terms of India's larger response to what happened on 10/11. So a crucial day for the Prime Minister today, meeting the victims and now getting down to business in terms of what the national response is going to be.
That's right, Shiv, and you know, the threat also remains alive. We're on high alert, and you know, as more people who are part of this terror module are being traced, there are 2 cars also that were purchased, and those 2 are also being traced. So a big challenge really for the government. Vasudha, the Prime Minister posting that he went to LNJP, met with those injured and praying for quick recovery. Also again reiterating, as Shiv said, that those behind the conspiracy will be brought to justice. So big challenge really for the government, even as you know, the investigation is across the country, from Jammu and Kashmir to Delhi, Gurgaon, Faridabad as well.
That's correct. Yeah, you know, the multiple layers of this challenge are expanding with each passing minute, aren't they, Gargi? You know, as we report this story here on NDTV and take it to our viewers, we are sifting through mountains of shape-shifting information. So you can imagine what it's actually like in the national security establishment. There are multiple different angles that are being looked at. One, the micro investigation into this particular incident that happened in outside the Red Fort. Number 2 is the Al Falah University. Number 3, the arrests that are taking place not only in South Kashmir, not only in Delhi and UP, but also in faraway Assam. There are detentions taking place there as well. There are high alerts, as you rightly pointed out, in different parts of the country. There is this expectation of an Indian response, which the Prime Minister has promised not once but twice in the last 24 hours, once in Thimphu and once now in Delhi. There is the angle of the doctors of terror, white-collar terror, which is a larger challenge that will need to be looked at by the establishment. So all of these different complex layers are right in front of the Prime Minister and the leadership of this government in terms of how to tackle it. The angle that this could have been some kind of a 26/11, that the conspirators traveled abroad for training, you know, that there was a possibility of a larger commando-style attack on different locations within Delhi, that targets were recce'd by some of these people, all hark back to the Mumbai terror attacks in 2008. On NDTV, we need to be very careful with such information, but as we report it, all of this confronts the Prime Minister and the government.
That's right. Given the sheer volume of, explosives found, ammunition, guns as well, Vasudha, a big challenge, for the government. And, we've all been focused on the Bihar election, the government as well, and this, shocking blast, and then this entire web, this conspiracy that has been uncovered.
That's right, Gargi. In fact, I was speaking to some people and they were telling me that in the last 36 hours, the Prime Minister has been briefed multiple times by several experts on what could have happened. And this starting with the fact that Jaish-e-Mohammed posters appeared in parts of Srinagar, outside Srinagar. In fact, he's been very insistent on knowing what the chronology has been, and he's been very interested in knowing the details of the counter-terror operation that has been taking place. We've seen arrests happening across northern India. Even before the blast took place, the Prime Minister, I'm told, has been keenly monitoring all these updates, and he's been very insistent on understanding every little thing that has happened in the last 36 hours in this country. Shiv and Gargi, both of you would remember that when the Pahalgam terror attack took place, the Prime Minister was in Saudi Arabia for a very important bilateral meeting. When he came back, it was in the airport that the first CCS meeting took place. So this is what is happening now, is in line with the Prime Minister's policy and politics. He's come back, and immediately upon landing, he has gone and met with the victims. The victims all come from very deprived backgrounds, and that's really, it's really shattering, because most of them were just trying to eke out a livelihood in this city. So the Prime Minister, clearly knowing somebody like him, he would be very upset, he would be very angry. And today, this meeting, his meeting with those who have been injured comes just hours before this first CCS meeting that is going to that's likely to take place around 6 p.m. is what we understand. So clearly, the Prime Minister is equipped with all the details that he wants to know about this transnational transnational terror attack that has taken place. And also, he's also gotten the human element by talking to people. And he has, in fact, gone to the extent of asking people what did they see, how are they feeling. So lot many details there, and it looks like we'll have to wait and see how the government responds to this entire act that has happened, that has been witnessed day before yesterday.